Hello, one and all. Brandon Carey here, and today we are going to finish Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the first game in this trilogy. As you all recall, we are in the middle of the last trial of the DLC case for the first game, titled Rise from the Ashes. We just concluded that the person who hired us to prove her sister innocence, Emma Skye, accidentally murdered somebody 2 years ago when trying to fend off a serial killer. And now all hell has broken loose. Oh. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Also, we've proven that Edgeworth used forged evidence, even though we didn't know it was forged at the time. In the trial 2 years ago on the serial killer, so he's in some hot water himself. This is my problem, not yours. Ah, Gumshoe, you're always interrupting, but go ahead. Someone's not happy. Edgeworth not happy. You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making detective run around while on duty. Top off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at... Oh, Is this a callback? Oh, okay, I think you have on errands again. Okay, I thought I wrote it up the wrong save. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, as we give you this to you, there was a break in today's trial. A book on evidence law. You must know these 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. You could at least take some evidence law. He is an attorney, you should know this. A message. She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Okay, let me read. Oh, I don't have it in my inventory yet. Guess I need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. Evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Oh yeah, we know these rules. We've gone over them before. So now we can use this as like a gotcha. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? The real trial today hasn't begun yet. Credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she was unwillingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. I didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? We gotta get Gaunt on the stand and get him to testify so we can break him. Hopefully Edgy Poo will help us here. Courtroom number 9. Dawn of the final day. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well... Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses. I didn't say that. Just you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. What you say? Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Alright, now we get to call our own witnesses. Defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Let's bring him out! Defense calls Damon Gaunt to the stand. As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gaunt has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to be manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Alright, it's time. Time for the final trial. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Fine. My name is Damon Gaunt. I'm the acting chief of police. The court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto! What's with the grim face? Let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware of the course that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What kind of horse shit is this? Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Witness may now begin his testimony. Let's break this fool in half! As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. That's a press. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. This is oppressing, all of this. There's so little detail in any of this. Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped his head. As I recall... Hold it! And that day... Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Doc and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Doc ran for it. So the two of you immediately ran after him, right? That's right, but Doc made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs, I guess you could say. He got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went through his heart, though. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie. I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Doc was also lying collapsed on... Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Anyway, I had nothing to do with the forgery. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better off staring at the court record. But beware, they're always the smooth talker. Oh yeah, it was in his safe. It was obviously in his safe. It had nothing to do with the forgery. How do you explain this? A handprint? Chief Gaunt, your explanation, please. I don't know. You tell me, son. My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Evidence must be... Trial must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? Well, okay, I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, don't you? afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. These evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. Then this guy drew a picture on. This was discovered in your... Okay, we need to use this first. At least they get penalized for that. That's good. That's good. At least the game acknowledges we're on the right track. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. Chief Gaunt, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gaunt, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. Submit to it then that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me, or do you mean you? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Wrighto? Objection! However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging this crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. You should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. Would you mind waiting till tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, our Jim, return though. Oh, weirdos. Bunch of fucking weirdos in this trial. If you ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. Back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you don't carry in the evidence and you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you had proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Can we? Maybe, I don't know what we can prove or not. This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. Objection! Concealing evidence found is in forgery. I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Doc was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day that the Doc was sentenced. I would love to see the front side of this.
Objection!
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about the possibilities, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Come now, Righto. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery.
Hold it!
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? And the person whose unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Hold it!
Really, Chief Gunn? Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police. Resolution of the S on instant secure your promotion to Chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Do you really think I'm that incompetent? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. Resolution S9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. You didn't do it for yourself, you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy, you know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for, me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Archie, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Hold it!
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? You think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to help lend people a hand. Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Count may have helped forge evidence?
Take that!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant! I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gaunt, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. After the SLM incident was resolved, last guy was appointed chief prosecutor of the prosecution's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gaunt. What profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Oh, wait. You mean this is what I'm forced to do his bidding? Never mind. Chief, or Judge, come the fuck on. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. The motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Right there, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Unless it is also what happened in this incident. Of course, talking about the murder detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gaunt is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. Whoa, 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 what? What? I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious! Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. Accused chief of police of blackmail and murder. That... Impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Can you prove, Mr. Wright, that the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gaunt is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. There's evidence that... It would have to be the names, right? This ID card report. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who... Yeah, because 77777 is his ID. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine that the owner of yesterday. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. The safe in Chief Gaunt's office requires a code to open. 7-digit code. I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777777777. Same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gaunt, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Ah, we got him sweating now. Order! Chief Gaunt, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation... The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands explanation from you about the use of his ID card. to admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What's about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. He wouldn't have to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
Objection!
Chief Gaunt, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met Detective Goodman. The purpose is to determine this guy's guilt.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Joanna! This trial's purpose is to determine the truth! Chief got met the victim on the day of the crime. We need to determine one thing. What's transpired during that meeting. They're asking for evidence. Show us proof that the victim would... Where's my glove? Where's the fucking glove? Where's that fucking glove? Yes! Yes! That's proof! That's not proof. All right. There's a lot of evidence in this thing. Oh, he didn't have his car with him.
Take that!
He lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you're in possession of that report. Yet you are in possession of the reports, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? You needed to enter the evidence room that day. Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Goodman took the form from you, Chief Gaunt. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way that the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman? Exactly. The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. You had really lent it to Detective Goodman. It would have been found on his body. Well, that's a cool shot. I'm gonna make that a thumbnail if I can find it.